Good morning, dear students. Now, today we are discussing about third chapter in mathematics, that is matrices. What is matrix? The singular word matrix and the plural word matrices. What is the importance of matrix in mathematics? Now, when you go deep into the subject, you can see that matrix is used in solving a system of linear equations. Matrix is used in solving a system of linear equations. It is also used to find the system of linear equations. Linear equations. Now, what do you mean by system of linear equations? System of linear equations means, all of you know, for example, x plus 2y is equal to 6, 4x plus y is equal to 10. Now, on solving these two equations, you get the value for x and you get the value for y. You have studied in your lower classes. So, now you can see that matrix can be used to solve a system of linear equations. Another application is matrix is used to find the area of a triangle. Area of a triangle. So, to get the area of a triangle from matrix, we use another word which comes in chapter 4, that is called determinant. Determinant. And by using it, you can find the area of a triangle. It is also used in different branches of science. For example, it is used in solving problems in cost production, economics, in cryptography, in genetics, and so on. So, it has very wide application. Matrix has very wide application in our day-to-day life. Now, let us go to in detail what is matrix, what are the properties of matrices, and how can we use matrix in our day-to-day life. We will be discussing all these through certain small examples. Let us consider two shops A and B. We are considering two shops A and B. These two shops sell groceries. I am considering rice, wheat, and sugar. Per kilogram, I am writing the rate of rice, wheat, and sugar in these two shops. Per kilogram. Let us say it is equal to 25, wheat 18, sugar it is 15. That is for shop A, rice per kilogram 25, wheat per kilogram 18, sugar per kilogram is 15 rupees. In shop B, let us see what is the cost. It is equal to 22 rupees per kilogram, wheat it is equal to 19 rupees per kilogram, and sugar it is equal to 17.5 rupees per kilogram. So, this is an information regarding the price of three grocery items in two different shops. This information can be represented by means of a table. Table, that means the table can be a square table or it can be a symbol table. The table we call it as square brackets or symbol brackets. Now the items, the grocery items are written as it is 25, 18, 15, 22, 19 and 17.5. So, this is an information. This whole data is now compressed into a compact data. compressed into a compact data, and it is written in a tabular form. This can also be written in single braces as single brackets 25, 18, 15, 22, 19, 17.5. So when you refer some different textbooks, you can see both the notations. It makes no difference. Now, let us consider one more example. Let us consider two students, X and Y, in your class. X and Y in your class. I am considering two students. And let us consider the marks they get for physics and chemistry. Physics and chemistry. Out of 10, let it be equal to 10. Out of 10, 8, chemistry 0, and for chemistry Y is getting 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. This is also an information regarding the marks of two students, which can be written in a tabular form like table 10, 8, 0, 9. So, in these two examples, you can see that the big data is now condensed into tabular forms. This method of writing the data, elaborate data into a compact table, it is called as what is meant by matrix. It is called as a matrix. And now you can see the first matrix is different from the second matrix. That means each matrix is unique. Each matrix is unique. So we represent the matrix by using capital letters of English alphabet. Let us say A is equal to, or let us say C is equal to, and we read it as C is equal to matrix 25, 18, 15, 22, 19, 17.5. This can be written as matrix D is equal to matrix 10, 8, 0, 9. Each matrix is unique. That means you have to use or you have to name them, and naming is always done by capital letters of the English alphabets. Now, so I hope you understood what is a matrix. What is a matrix? Matrix means it is just an information is written in a compact form, and the compact form consists of, another new term is coming, it is written in terms of rows. This is also a row in terms of rows and columns. So matrix means it is representing an information in a tabular form, and in the tabular form it is the informations are written in rows and columns. The first matrix has got how many rows? You can see that there are two rows. It is represented by R1 and R2. Also, when you analyze the first matrix, it has got three columns. Let us represent them by C1, C2 and C3. In the second matrix D, 10, 8, 0, 9, you can see there are two rows, R1, R2, and two columns, C1 and C2. So, you can see that rows and columns need not be equal, isn't it? Rows and columns need not be equal. If the rows and columns are not equal, in the first example, we call it as a rectangular matrix. We call it as a rectangular matrix. And if the number of rows and columns are equal, we call it as a square matrix. we call it as a square matrix. So a matrix means, generally we can say that a matrix means it is a rectangular arrangement of information in terms of rows and columns. Rows and columns. And matrix can be in two forms. Either rows and columns are different, means it is a rectangular matrix. Rows and columns are equal, it is a square matrix. Now, let us consider, since we are just in the introductory part of the chapter, we have to consider more definitions, more terms. Only then we can come to the application level. So now we know what is a matrix. Then we know what is a rectangular matrix. What is a square matrix? Now we will see what do you mean by elements of the matrix. Elements of matrix. Let us consider the example. A is equal to, another simple example I am taking, A is equal to -1, 0, 2, √3, 4 plus I and 10. Now, when you consider this example, you may be wondering why 0 is taken, negative number has come, an irrational number has come, a complex number has come, etc. Yes, it is because -1, 0, 2, √3, 4 plus I, 10, they are called as the elements of the matrix. They are called as the elements of the matrix. And the property is that the elements can be either an integer, integer means positive or negative, whole number, it can be an irrational number, it can be a complex number, or sometimes it can be functions. For example, sin x, x plus 2, cos x and x. So, the elements in a matrix, it can be from the number system, it can be integers, irrational numbers, complex numbers, functions, sin x, x plus 2, etc. and so on. These are called as the elements of the matrix. So far we have discussed three concepts. Matrix means it is a rectangular arrangement. Square matrix means number of rows and columns are equal. Elements of a matrix means that numbers, that the informations inside the bracket is called as the elements of the matrix, and elements can be integers, whole numbers, irrational numbers, complex numbers, functions, etc. Now, next we will study about the positions of the matrices. Positions of the matrices. Listen carefully. When you consider the number -1, here we have two rows, R1, R2, and we have three columns, C1, C2, C3. Okay. Now, when you look at the number -1, it occupies it occupies the place in the first row, first column. Okay, -1 in the matrix A, -1 occupies the place in the first row, first column. So, we can write that as, in symbolically, an element, first row, first column. Suffix, first row, first column. Consider the number element 0. When you consider the element 0, it occupies the space or it occupies the place first row and the second column. First row and the second column. And for the number 2, yes, you know it occupies the space first row, third column. First row, third column. When it comes to number root 3, element root 3, it belongs to, row should come first. Row should come first. It belongs to the second row, first column. 4 plus I, the complex number, occupies the space second row, second column. And the number 10 occupies the space second row, third column. So, a general form of writing a matrix with the elements can be written in this form. With the elements, that is, the first one always denotes the number to which row it belongs, and the second one denotes to which column it belongs to. A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23. So, when comparing these two examples, if I am asking you, compare these two examples, what is A22? What is A22? It is 4 plus I. What is A13? A13 is 2. What is A21? A21 is equal to root 3. So, you can compare and get the elements. Now, next one, from this we come to the next one. It is called as the size or order of the matrix. Size or order of the matrix. Size. Size means what? How many are there? In the, when you say size of the class means how much it can include. So, in this matrix, what is the size? It represents the total number of elements in the matrix. Total number of elements in the matrix, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Size is equal to 6. Or you can write it as rows should come first. How many rows are there? 2 rows. And how many columns are there? 3 columns. So the size is equal to 2 into 3. But we read it as 2 by 3 matrix. 2 by 3 matrix. And this matrix will have how many elements? 6 elements. So the order is read as 2 into 3, written as 2 into 3, but read as 2 by 3 matrix, and the number of elements in that matrix is equal to 6. So this is known as the size or order of the matrix. Now, let us consider a matrix having 8 elements. A matrix having 8 elements. What are the possible orders it can have? A matrix has 8 elements. So, a matrix has 8 elements means what are the possible orders? Orders means what are the possible size of the matrix? It can be 8 elements. Okay, you are telling 2 by 4 because 2 into 4 is equal to 8. Correct. Then 4 by 2. Yes, 4 by 2. 4 into 2 is equal to 8. What is the meaning of 4 by 2? That matrix has 4 rows. 4 rows and how many columns? 2 columns. 2 by 4 means the matrix has 2 rows and how many columns it has? 4 columns. Is this the only possible way to get 8? No. You can see 1 by 8. Yes, very good. 1 by 8 and 8 by 1. What is the meaning of 1 by 8? 1 by 8 means there will be 1 row and 8 columns. 1 row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a matrix. Row alle. One row and 8 columns. Sorry, 1 row and 8 columns. 1 by 8. And what is the meaning of 8 by 1? It has got 8 rows and 1 column. 8 rows and 1 column. So you have studied order or size of the matrix, elements of the matrix, and how can you create matrices when the order is given. Order is given, you can find out the matrix. You can find out the matrix. This matrix has got a particular name because it has only one row but any number of columns. It is called as a row matrix. It is called as a row matrix. One row and any number of columns. Generally speaking, it is 1 by n. In this case, it has 8 rows and 1 column. So it is called as a column matrix. It is called as a column matrix m by 1. M by 1. So we have discussed 5 properties of initial 5 properties of matrices. That is a rectangular matrix. Matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers or information either in rows or columns. Square matrix, elements of a matrix, size or order of a matrix. And when the elements are given, how to get the order of the matrix. Can anyone give an example of a square matrix of order 1 by 1? 1 by 1. What is the meaning of 1 by 1? It has 1 row, 1 column. So what is 1 by 1 matrix? It is equal to, let us say -3. This is a matrix of order 1 by 1 and it is a square matrix. Now, I hope all of you have understood the 5 initial properties of a matrix. Now, we are going to write the general form of a matrix. General form of a matrix. General form of a matrix. Now, in matrix, it consists of rows and columns. Okay, fine. What is a general form of a matrix? If an element is occupied in the first place, in the first row, first column, we represent by means of A11. If an element belongs to first row, second column, it will be A12. First row, third column, it will be A13, etc. Suppose if it has n columns, it will be A1n. Second row, first column, it will be A21, A22, A23, etc. A2n. Now, generally I am speaking of a matrix which has got m rows and n columns. M rows and n columns. So, what will be the mth row? Mth row will be AM1, AM2, AM3, etc. AMN. And how many elements does this matrix have? This matrix will have m into n elements. m into n elements. It is a rectangular matrix because number of rows is m, number of columns is n. Now we shall consider, let us name it as capital A. So now there are many rows in between. I am specifically interested in ith row. Which row? Ith row and jth column element. Ith row and jth column element. So ith row will be ai1, ai2, ai3, etc., aij, etc., ain, etc., and so on. So this is the general element of the matrix aij. That means it belongs to ith row and jth column. Why do I stress this one? General form is very, very important because using this we can construct a matrix. Using the general form of a matrix, it can be used to for the construction of a matrix of any order. Let us think about how to construct a matrix from the general form. The question is, an example is, question is, let us consider construct a 2 by 2 matrix, whose general element A is equal to aij is given by modulus of I plus j divided by 2. So what is your question? From the general element, I am constructing a 2 by 2 matrix, So the point should come to your mind, 2 by 2. It has 2 rows and 2 columns and the elements are of the form aij. It is equal to modulus or absolute value of I plus j divided by 2. What is the first step in constructing? So we have, because it is a matrix, it will have a name A. The order is equal to 2 by 2. So how many elements it will have? Yes, it will have 4 elements. We can keep in mind, it will have 4 elements. Now, square bracket. How many rows does it have? 2 rows. And how many columns it will have? 2 columns. What will be the first element? We don't know what is the first element. So we will write A11. Second element in the first row, it is A12. This will be A21 and A23. Still A22. Still we don't know what are the elements. How to get those elements? So aij means I. J is equal to absolute value of I plus j divided by 2. Let us find out. A11. So A11 means I is 1, j is 1. It will be modulus of 1 plus 1 divided by 2. That is 2 by 2. Modulus of 2 by 2, which is equal to 1. What is A12? A12 is equal to modulus of I is 1, j is 2 divided by 2. Modulus of 3 by 2, which is equal to 3 by 2. If you want, you can convert it into decimal. It's up to you. Next one, A21. So the row is 2, column is 1. I is 2, j is 1. Modulus of 2 plus 1 divided by 2, which is equal to modulus of 3 by 2 is equal to 3 by 2. And A22 equal to modulus of 2 plus 2 divided by 2, which is equal to 4 by 2, which is equal to 2. Now it's not over. You just found out the elements. So what is matrix A? Matrix A is equal to matrix A11 1, A12 3 by 2, A21 3 by 2, and A22 it is equal to 2. So how many elements are there? Beginning we told there will be 4 elements. Yes, of course, 4 elements, and the order is equal to 2 by 2 matrix. So 2 rows and 2 columns. In this way we can construct another matrix or any matrix of given order and when the general elements are given. So for today we will stop the class.